What it do, Bruce Juice crew? We're doing our first rookie mock draft of the season. If you're new around here, I get sent mock drafts. I analyze them. I review them on the channel. We've been doing this for years. We've been the first or one of the first YouTube channels out there to cover rookie mock drafts. Years ago, I used to have to make them up, and people just started sending them to me because they saw me making them up, and they're like, hey, just cover this. Just cover this draft. We'll give you some other angles to look at. And I still get them to this day, and we keep covering them to this day. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we are going to cover the 2026 rookie draft class for Dynasty Fantasy Football till it's blue in the face like we do every single year. Player profiles, rankings, advanced analytics, mock drafts, NFL draft, whatever it is, it will be here. It will be free. Click that button, stop missing out. But I got some changes for you. A new look here for the draft board to get excited about. For the 2026 NFL mock draft, I was not in this draft. I was not. I'm usually not because if I was, or if it was my draft, it would be rankings, and I do rankings. That will be out somewhere down the line. We're in season. I got to swiftly move back and forth during the season. But you see the draft board. You see the 101. This is a one-round, one QB draft. And I like one QB drafts right now because we're watching things shake out with the quarterbacks. First player off the board, though, you know who it is. I hope you do. I hope. And it's Jeremiyah Love. This is a very good running back prospect. He's explosive. He's got power. He's got vision. He's good in the open field. He's projected to get drafted in the first round. We have been productive, 1,100 yards last year, 17 touchdowns. We're going to easily surpass 1,000 yards this year. 3.86 yards after contact per attempt. Very good, stout running back prospect. I think he's going to be great for fantasy. He's got a skill set for that. I think he's going to be drafted with good draft capital. We're going to be in a good situation where he's going to be getting the touches early. We have 9 100-yard games on his career. When you compare him to the Bijans and Jonathan Taylors, I'm leaning more to the Unks. But when I'm looking at Jeremiyah Love here compared to Ashton Jeanty, I think Love's got a better profile. He's got it against different competition. He's thick. He's a bruiser. Jeanty is too, but just the explosiveness in the open field compared with the size. That's what I like about him. That's what I like about Jeremiyah Love. Very excited where he goes and what he does in the league. But going on the 102 here, they're going Jordyn Tyson. And when I see Tyson, I see a very explosive player with nasty hands. Good concentration. That release off the line was going to make him money at the next level. Projected right now, per mock drafts, per big draft, to be the first wide receiver off the board. I think there's going to be some stiff competition in this draft at the top. I think we're going to see a better wide receiver class compared to last year. I don't think it's going to be comparable to the top classes. Now, production-wise, there's talent that might push it to that, but when you're looking at it scouting-wise, not compared to the top classes, but definitely better than this year's class. Jordyn Tyson saw 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns last year. We're banged up. I got the cross monitor for that. Hamstring. We're seeing when he comes back, but the tape's out there. The tape's out there. Big draft seeing it. Big draft's not worried about it. Hands, explosive, very fluid player. At 103, who did they go with? Who do you think's coming off the board? Carnell Tate. Savvy route runner. Savvy release package. Very good at breaking off routes. Contested catch king, good at getting sneaky downfield, and he has been climbing. Currently banged up, however, 3.52 yards per out ran. And I got a couple wide receivers that I like. Carnell Tate's one of them. Carnell Tate's one of those first-round picks that I really like in this year's draft. He's going in the first round, and we see this on the tape. He looks like a first-rounder, people calling that out. We're seeing that. And when I watch the tape, I see a guy that's going to transition pretty quick to the NFL. I definitely see that with Carnell Tate. I see this. I think he's going to be solid. Now you're saying, hey, 5 100-yard games to his career. Nothing really standing out when you're looking at the counting stats. You can say that about a lot of wide receivers at Ohio State if you want to go tit for tat in the advanced metrics due to the competition. You can definitely pinpoint whatever metric with all the wide receivers there because there's so much competition. They bring in 5 stars left and right. They get the top 4 stars. That's what they do with every recruiting class. They get the pickings of every wide receiver class. They get them, and they turn out solid. And you can nitpick Emeka Egbuka. You can definitely do that. And I'm seeing some people, they're just making the hard, steadfast rule here that they're drafting Ohio State wide receivers. They'll deal with the consequences later if it doesn't work out, but they have a high hit rate. At 104, Justice Haynes. He's got that home run hitter to him, currently banged up, got that surgery, and we'll see how that affects his draft status. This is not the toughest running back class. This is not near as comparable to this year's running back class. Hopefully, you jacked yourself up at running back with the 2025 class and where you can take your shots here at wide receiver. The 2027 class at wide receiver, that's going to be the immaculate class. That's going to be a nasty class here. You're seeing Justice Haynes here. He's a breath of fresh air. 700 100-yard games to his career, most of them this year with Michigan. He was a big-time recruit out of high school. He can let it loose. If he is seeing green in the open field, he can cash it. I look for him, like if he's in an offense that picks up the pace, that checks it down to the running backs, if he's got a quarterback that can buoy the production in the flat to the running back, I could definitely see him being very liquid in fantasy, just being explosive. He's a home run hitter. He's got that juice. He really stepped things up this year. 7.1 yards per carry, 3.77 yards after contact per attempt. He also got good numbers at Alabama and some of those efficiency metrics there. 448 yards last year, 3.21 yards after contact per attempt with 79 rushing attempts. Nothing really write home about, but still 5.7 yards per carry in the SEC. At 105, Lemon coming off the board. This is one of my dudes. Yes, this is one of my dudes in this year's draft. He got his quarterback a 5-star out of high school. Busted straight up. Had to go to UTEP. Lemon here. Just smooth. Smooth operator. He's got speed to burn. Just racking up yards here with USC. 937 right now. 7 touchdowns. He's just dangerous. Dangerous off the line. Dangerous to get behind you. I love to Tate with this kid. Lemon and Tate are my dudes. Nothing against Tyson. Nothing against him. I actually like him. It's just everybody's going to be on to him. Everybody's going to be on Tate and Lemon too. Everybody is. Like at the top of this draft, when you're looking at this, it's going to be solid. I am going to see this draft, and I'm going to see many mock drafts be wide receiver heavy, and it's going to shoot their shots on running back, and running back's going to kick up around the combine, around the Senior Bowl, when you start seeing these stocks emerge. You're going to see some of these running backs emerge as Big Dynasty starts looking back at the tape. It takes them a couple months. They don't watch college football. They'll make the complaint that their wives will hate them if they watch college football, but yet they do Dynasty content. Lemon has been a big prospect ever since high school. He got his quarterback some money out of high school. He's that good. He can create separation. He's technical. I like him a lot. At 106 coming off the board here in this draft, Boston. Straight up, strong hands, strong at the catch points. Not super switched up, though. I like my wide receivers twitched up. I like them twitched off the release. But what I do like about him, that if we're with the right quarterback that pushes it, we can get downfield. And even with us being downfield, we got them ball skills. We can command air yards. You're seeing that this year. We got a 14.3 ADOT. We could definitely, in the right situation with the right quarterback, week to week, command production. We're not overly dominant yardage-wise, 4 100-yard games on his career. But when you're looking at Boston, his fit for fantasy is with a quarterback that pushes it downfield, that likes to go YOLO, him getting downfield winning with that catch radius. He's nasty at the catch point. He's strong at the catch point downfield. Definitely can get it in those regards. Tough coming off that post. He's just a tough physical wide receiver downfield. That's what I like about his game. I like looking at that for wide receivers. How can you win downfield? Can I see you winning downfield, connecting with air yards? Because now I got to look at your potential situation here. And if it's glorious, that can hammer. If it's not so glorious, but you're still like developing, and that's a key attribute to your game, that could lend to you like sneaking fantasy production here and there, which gives you an all right floor depending on how you like your wide receivers. At 107, who they got next here? Coleman coming off the board. Jonah Coleman here. Good power, good size. We're banged up right now. We'll see. Big draft's going to big drafts. It's November right now. We still got the football season to play out. 4.9 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns on the season so far, 10 touchdowns last year. This was a running back we've been paying attention to in the offseason. We want to see how that goes. For a big physical runner, good feet, moves laterally very well, can create space, can get you yards after contact. 4.34 last year, 3.46 right now. Last year he had 67 missed tackles forced. This is a running back prospect that I can see taking a lot of poundage, getting a lot of opportunity. We might be a little bit high on here. Mock draft status, though. We got to see how big draft likes him once we get out of the combine. Once we infuse some of those guys at the running back position, that's climbing up the board. Do I like what I see on film? Yes, I do like it. 4.9 yards per carry right now, 5.5 in 2024, 6.8 in 2023 Arizona. Another thing that I like about him is that we produced with two different teams. Producing with two different teams. If you watch this channel before, I like players that can break out with two different programs or break out early with their original program, because like that lends the notion that this guy can download a new system, a new coaching staff, new whatever, new area, whatever. Just get in a new situation and just figure it out quick and be productive and take over the offense. At 108 coming off the board here, Chris Brazel. And like I said earlier to Boston, but I think we're probably more likely to get that Will Fuller effect, that JMO effect if you don't have that UNC status. Brazel's got the deep speed. He's got the length. He's got the catch radius. That's what we're seeing here. Nice and explosive off the release. Has hit with two different collegiate programs. I like him a lot. I think he's a solid prospect here. I think we got to see where he goes in the draft. Like always, he could be a riser. He could be a slider. I think the combine's going to be huge for him. I think the rest of the season's going to be huge for him. But you're seeing this, and how I project him out for fantasy is, man, he could be a huge hitter with the right quarterback. He definitely could be. Like, even in a down situation, and say he's running like an 80% route participation rate, and the quarterback just sucks, system sucks, rebuilding team, like he could probably hit and be a deep ball dandy randomly throughout the year. We have upside with that and a floor with that. Everything else, we got to see if it checks out. But what we're seeing with him is a wide receiver that can get it loose. At 109 coming off the board here, Antonio Williams. So reading scouting reports, a lot of people got him as a slot wide receiver. Kind of projects that when you look at the size and stuff. But when you look at him, he also plays a lot on the outside. That's just not just him. He's a smooth route runner. He's very technical. I think quarterback play is going to be vastly important for him. Vastly. Like, he's not that twitched up to the point where we can just win it no matter where we land in the NFL. I think system, quarterback play, I think that's going to be rather important for his skill sets. But I think he's going to be great for the NFL. I think that's the type of wide receiver you're looking at here. I'm not over the moon with him, but I could definitely change my tune. I do that with a lot of prospects once we get into draft season and we see where he goes. But when I'm looking at him, he does have potential. Big recruit out of high school, has shown some flashes on the tape, 904 yards and 11 touchdowns last year. You're looking at a wide receiver here. Just pure technique alone could get him some opportunity, and that could be enough in the right system. 110, Chris Bell. This is one of my dudes. This is one of my dudes here. Explosive, strong, attacks the football, has that my ball mentality. This is one of my dudes. I like him after the catch. I like it when it's 50-50, say it's a hitch route. This guy's going to be a monster. He's going to come back and go get it. This is the type of wide receiver I like to look at. He has that size. He has that explosive with it. And also when you watch him on those deep runs, he's got that extra kick that comes in, that pulls away. Not every runner has that. That extra kick makes him nasty on those deep plays like yak, deep routes. He's got that extra kick that's just a nightmare because you're running stride for stride with a dude, but he's one of those dudes that just has that extra kick at the end of that run. Pop. It's like hitting a booster. You see that on film with some of these guys. It's not super rare, but it's not with everybody. I like his mentality the most. I think that's going to help him out a lot. It doesn't help all the players that has that mentality, but it's going to help him out a lot. At 111 coming off the board here, Jordyn Price. He's shown some good tape this year. This is where your mock drafts are going to get sketchy because some running backs are going to have to come off the board. You're looking at tight end. There's some guys you're looking at. There's some wide receivers that ain't going to get drafted today that should be here. That you're thinking like, hey, where's this guy at? Let me know in the comments. I know you're thinking already, this ain't my draft, but I like talking about the players and what I'm seeing. Like when you're watching Notre Dame on Saturdays, you're watching Love and then Price shows up. Just explosive. The price is right. Think about Notre Dame. Through high school football recruiting, they have been loading up at running back. Just silently. They got another Kyron Williams back there. I'll just let you know that. They got another guy like that. They got more. They got Keydron Young back there. And you're looking at Jordyn Price. He's one of them. 746 yards last year, 6.2 yards per carry. 6.0 yards per carry right now in the season. 9 touchdowns with Love there. Like, he's explosive in the open field, too. I see him being a solid 1B back. He's got upside for that. He's a back that you're going to be paying attention to the whole career. At 112, final pick off the board here. Concepcion. Our French boy. Savvy, explosive, nasty off the release. Some people have him higher, and I understand. I'm not drafting here. I liked him at North Carolina State. We talked about him transferring over last year because that's what we do. We talk about the transfers, we go deep on the transfer portal, and we go deep on high school football recruiting, and then come in and swoop in the draft coverage. We do it all here because you got to know it all. And we saw him making a splash with this team through the portal. We just saw that. He's twitched up. He's savvy. He can create separation. I think he can be a sneaky play. 5 100-yard games on his career. An 8 out of 12.9. That boosted up here with Tamu. Tamu's looking solid this year. I think he's going to be a get. I think macro-wise, this wide receiver class is really going to sound off this year. It's going to be a lot better compared to this year, the 2025 class. The running back class ain't close, but you can pick and choose your spots. Teams will still need running backs, and you're just going to lean on draft capital. You're going to see tight end, and somebody's going to overdraft it. You just take the value. We're watching the quarterbacks. That ain't playing out too well. You watch that. You see where they go. You monitor that status and the value there. Don't overshoot your shot. Who gets drafted in the first round? That fantasy football Twitter hates. You draft them late first, early second in your Superflex league, and you'll probably cash out a little bit later on down the road if you trade them away or if they even hit. We've seen this every single year. Bo Nix, Dart, Josh Allen, the first-round quarterback that fantasy football hates, you just draft and take them at the discount because they don't know what they're doing. You might as well just play the market and play those hit rates. I got all kinds of knowledge here that I will give to you for free if you just hit that subscribe button. Rock with me. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.